is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are so.
We welcome you to Atlanta, Georgia for the middle game of our weekend series between the Braves and the Colorado Rockies. The Braves hoping for better luck in Game 2 tonight. Colorado won last night by a final score of 11-2. Hi again, friends. Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, Chip Carey. Welcome to the ballpark, where a real treat is in store for us tonight. Mike Foltynewicz is on the mound for the Braves. Joe coming off arguably his best performance as an Atlanta Brave last time out.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chip. The way he handled that good Chicago White Sox lineup in Chicago is mighty impressive, and he did it in front of friends and family in the Chicago metro area too. But 7 innings of 5-hit shutout ball. What was really impressive, Tommy, was no walks and 10 strikeouts put together.
Yeah, and a lot of those strikeout videos you see are on breaking balls, but really the key to it is the command of his fastball. He's in and out on the plate, not nibbling, getting ahead in the count, and that to me is the key to any pitcher, but particularly for Mike as well. Establish that fastball, establish it in the zone. It makes everything else that much better, and I think that's what you saw against a real good Chicago White Sox lineup, excuse me. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does to this lineup here tonight. We saw what they could do last night. I want to see him back up what he did his last time out.
Yeah, the bazooka from Manuka is ready to go. He'll face Chad Bettis of the Colorado Rockies. And when we come back, Kelsey Wingert standing by. She's got more on Mike Foltynewicz's great start last time out in the Windy City. That and more coming up next.
Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
We got some nice clouds in the sky and overcast weather for Game 2 of the Braves versus the Rockies as the Braves try to even the series. And Mike Foltynewicz on the mound today for Atlanta, and he has been looking really good as of late coming off of the DL, and he is the subject of our Synovus Greatness Made Here. Now, here's some history on Mike Foltynewicz. The Braves got him from the Astros in January of 2015 in the Evan Gattis trade. He made his Braves debut on May 1st and then had surgery September 21st. This season, he did not start up here in the Bigs. He made his debut on May 2nd and then was placed on the 15-day DL with those bone spurs. He did come back strong that last outing in Chicago, picking up the win, 7 innings pitched in front of his friends and family, 10 strikeouts, and the most impressive thing of that start to me was no walks. And I asked him earlier, which one of those would you prefer to have as a pitcher?
It's been a big part of my career where, it's kind of been holding me back that I've been walking too many people, and I've been trying really hard the last 2 years to try to control that, and I have been a little bit this year, and I'm just very excited and just keep going about it. It's really just staying aggressive and not really trying to pitch to the black, it's just trying to pitch to the white and let them hit and the defense do the work.
So good to see him pitching like that. Brian Snitker said he had seen things like that from him. He knew he was capable of that, and he definitely showed it in Chicago. And another update that I want to give you guys, Vizcaino has been placed on the 15-day DL with an oblique injury. Eric O'Flaherty has been recalled back up here, and he is available to start tonight. So hopefully we'll see him on the mound coming out of the bullpen there. But we have Game 2 of the Braves versus the Colorado Rockies with Mike Foltynewicz on the mound. Chip and Joe take it back with first pitch and starting lineups after the break.
Your local Ford dealer, the Home Depot, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Back in Atlanta here at Turner Field, we're set for Game 2 between the Braves and the Rockies. Cloudy skies and a blustery wind is blowing straight in for Mike Foltynewicz, who takes the mound for Atlanta. And a look at the defense behind him. Jace Peterson gets a rare start in left field tonight. Garcia, Ibar, Beckham, and Freeman around the horn. A.J. Brzezinski's behind the plate. Enciarte and Markakis in their standard spots in center and in right. We mentioned Mike Foltynewicz and his great outing last time out. He's been good at home, too. So hopefully all the planets will line for him tonight.
Yeah, 3-3 in the year. Like we said, looking to build off of his best start of probably his career, like we said, and he's in a good place to do it. You see there his home numbers, 1-0 with a 2.49 ERA. So hopefully that's going to get a little bit better tonight.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, long balls. He's given up 11 homers. 15 of the 21 runs he's allowed this year are directly caused by home runs. Cut down on the homers, he'll improve his success. In fact, his last 3 starts, he's given up more home runs than walks, 5-3. And also carbon copy. Why not just go about your business the same way you did in Chicago and hope for the same results?
And against a Colorado team that's hit 113 home runs, this ballpark with this wind, I would think, Tom, would be a very favorable night for a pitcher to work in.
Yeah, as it is right now with the wind blowing in a little bit for sure. But, you know, yeah, like you said, whatever your game plan was last time out, that should be your game plan tonight. Go out there, try to execute that. And if you give up homers, make them be solo.
Charlie Blackmon leads off, and we're underway. It's a quick strike. 86 degrees at first pitch tonight. It should cool off with the cloudy skies and the brisk breeze as that one whistled back to the screen after a 97-mile-an-hour pitch.
I'm glad we're not out behind the right field wall because they're getting pelted with lightning out there.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
Popped up. Wind is pushing that toward the Colorado dugout. Garcia is there, and Charlie Blackmon pops out on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. And there's out number 1. Always good to get the leadoff man. Here's DJ LeMahieu sporting a .332 average.
Yeah, we talked last night about trying to navigate this lineup and where you go for outs with those 3, 4, and 5 hole guys. Well, the best way to get into a situation to pitch to them is do it with nobody on base.
LeMahieu second in the league in hitting to Daniel Murphy of the Nationals, who's out of the lineup again. Murphy's got a bad hamstring, by the way. Murphy at .348, LeMahieu at .332, tied with Wilson Ramos. And quickly 0-2.
3 games, 1 start against the Rockies for Foltynewicz. 7 innings, 9 hits. 4 of those 9 hits come from LeMahieu.
And that's the first pitch out of the strike zone for Foltynewicz so far.
That's the hardest pitch I've seen him throw. 99.
And a shot the other way at 99 miles an hour. LeMahieu has another hit against Foltynewicz. He's now a perfect 5 for 5 against him. Amazing.
And it was up, letter high. Just kind of threw the barrel out there at it. Good hitter.
So a man aboard for Nolan Arenado, batting .290, 23 homers, 71 knocked in. Arenado had a big night last night again for the Rockies. And that buzzed the tower inside. Stierreich won. 71 RBIs, tops in the National League. Murphy of Washington is second in that category with 66. And only 2 other players in the big leagues have more RBIs than Nolan Arenado. Edwin Encarnacion of Toronto and Big Papi David Ortiz of the Red Sox. Line drive hammered toward left, and Jace Peterson's there. He makes the catch. Arenado lines out, 2 away for Carlos Gonzalez.
Wind helped there. That might have been a gapper last night, but the wind kind of knocked that down.
So here's Cargo, the subject of a lot of trade speculation with the deadline approaching August 1st, and the Rockies 7 games under 500. point we didn't make last night is the Cargo still has a relatively friendly contract, and he's under contract through the end of next season. So there's perhaps no great urgency to trade away yet another big name on this Rockies ball club. Cargo having another terrific year, 19 homers and a .324 mark. And this will be a fun matchup. You've got a strikeout pitcher on the mound facing a man that hasn't struck out in 21 consecutive plate appearances.
Calendar year home runs, he's right up there.
Wicked slider, 0-2.
That's the first breaking ball he's thrown.
I think it is. Almost caused Cargo to pull a hamstring.
LeMahieu leads at first, 2 outs.
Down.
Good stop there by AJ, who last night was chasing pitches in the dirt all night.
Down.
Cargo awaits a 1-2 pitch. Here it is. He struck him out. That streak ends, and Fulte with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball has his first strikeout of the night. Off to a good start to the Braves. Nothing doing for the Rockies. We head to the bottom of the first. His first strikeout of the night. Chad Bettis is his mound opponent, the native of Lubbock, Texas, and Texas Tech, starting for the 19th time.
19th start, 7-6 on the year, high ERA, which is typical of most Rocky starters. But as we mentioned, they've been hot. They've won 5 of his last 6 starts.
Jace Peterson, the first Brave to go to work tonight, and Jace takes a strike.
Bettis 92-95 with his fastball, a slider, changeup, curve. And he pitched well his last outing against the Phillies before the break. Pitched into the 7th inning, only gave up 2 runs.
Little ground ball out to second. LeMahieu's got it, and Peterson's retired. And here's the rest of the Braves lineup. Gordon Beckham, Freddie Freeman batting second and third. Markakis, Garcia, Inciarte in the middle of the attack. Przinsky, Ibar, and Mike Fultonevich hitting ninth. It's Bulldog night at the ballpark, and Gordon Beckham hopes to have a good night. For the UGA faithful, Beckham 0 for 4 last night. and hitting .279 for the year.
I like this guy. He works fast.
With bad weather all around the ballpark, might not be a bad idea. As that one way in front of the plate. It bounced up there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Might recall Bettis made his major league debut against the Braves. That was in August of 2013. Gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. Jason Hayward and Justin Upton hit homers in that game. Lifetime, he's 2-1 against the Braves ball club. And he just struck out Gordon Beckham, so the strikeouts are even at 1 apiece. 2 outs for Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, his last 2 starts against the Braves, he's won both of them. 2-0 with a .327 ERA. Missed all of the 2012 season with a bad right shoulder, and went 8-6 for Colorado last year with a very respectable .423 ERA pitching in Colorado.
His stuff is diving and darting all over the place in the early going. And he missed the outside corner for Freddie. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, he's got a good little sinker working so far.
Shift on for Freeman. Arenado, the Lone Ranger, on the left side of the diamond, and Freddie pops this one into shallow right, and Cargo's going to get there, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Atlanta. Scoreless first underway. We move to the second here at Turner Field.
To the second inning, Trevor Story leading off for the Rockies, and that's a name we all knew coming into this series. He had one of the best first halves for a rookie in MLB history, 21 home runs at the All-Star break. I spoke to him before the game today. He said that first week was a whirlwind. He said he always had the confidence he could play at this level. Didn't realize that would mean hitting 4 home runs in that first series. He said he just had to get used to the grind, and he will never take a day for granted in the big leagues.
He swings the first pitch and rolls out to the shortstop, and he's retired on a bang-bang play. Yeah, what a story Trevor Story was for the Rockies in the first month. 10 homers, 20 RBIs. And considering all the drama that surrounded this Rockies club with Jose Reyes, that was really a refreshing situation. Didn't have to concentrate on who wasn't playing for them, but rather on who was very capably filling the shortstop position for Jose Reyes.
And I think put us all on notice when I believe they were playing Arizona that maybe the Diamondbacks, who got off to a slow start, weren't as good as everybody hoped they were. Taking nothing away from from Trevor. He continued to swing the bat well.
Ryan Rayburn swung it well last night, didn't he? A grand slam off the bench for the Colorado club, part of their 11-run outburst, the most runs that the Rockies have scored in Atlanta since 1998. And for Rayburn, it was his third pinch hit home run this year.
Wow.
2 balls and a strike and a check swing. That'll help the cause. 2-2.
What a nice thing it is to have somebody come off the bench who can do things like this. If this was his third one, very impressive. Right off the top of the fence, just out of the reach of Nick Markakis. Brandon Snyder for the Braves been doing the same thing. A couple of homers, but all extra base hits as a pinch hitter.
Swing and a miss. Rayburn lost the bat, and Foltynewicz blew him away with 97-mile-an-hour heat. That's his second strikeout. Quickly, 2 men down.
Boy, he almost took out his teammate.
So he's happy that not only he missed the ball, but he missed him too. That was close.
Heads up.
So Mark Reynolds digs in. He struck out 3 times last night. And that's low and away. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is one of those matchups I was looking forward to tonight. Reynolds, such a dead red fastball hitter, and a good one.
And he fouled that one away at 88 miles an hour. Boy, that was just such a smooth, easy delivery. And all Reynolds could do was pop it into the seats.
I would assume, Tom, that when a guy throws as hard as Mike can throw, that it's hard to not want to throw your breaking stuff as hard.
Yeah.
Overpower it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, you throw that hard, and then your tendency is to want to overpower your breaking stuff. You know, and a lot of times that's why guys have a tough time having feel for those pitches.
That's flipped out of play to the right side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, the history of our game is filled with guys who have power arms that take a little longer to figure out how to use all that stuff. Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, Sandy Koufax. I'm not saying Mike Foltynewicz is in their class yet. He has the same kind of arm. As this one's popped up into shallow right center. It'll be pushed out to Markakis and right. He makes the play, and Folty has an easy 1-2-3 second inning. He's off to a good start. We'll see what the Braves can do in the bottom of the second next. This Sunday, July 17th, when the Braves take on the Rockies. Christmas in July ticket packages include a one-of-a-kind Jolly Old St. Nick Markakis holiday t-shirt, and they're available at braves.com/Christmas. Shirts are limited, so get yours today. And to quote the great Monty Hall, or to paraphrase him with Carol Merrill, you can see dork number 1, dork number 2, or dork number 3 sporting the t-shirt.
Hey, speak for yourself. You talking about Chan? Because I certainly was not on that list.
Poor Chan. That's a good shirt.
Yeah.
It's got the beard and everything.
That's tomorrow.
So we'll look forward to that, and hopefully a chance for the Braves to win the series. And a strike to Markakis. 0-1. Nick's 3 for 5 against Bettis in his career, but he's behind quickly, 0-2. When you play the Rockies, you're playing a different team away from Coors Field. They are a much different offensive club, hitting about 64 points lower than they do at home. That's the bad news. The good news for Colorado is their ERA is about 2.3 runs per game better on the road, as you would expect. And Walt Weiss's club needs a hot start in the second half to get to 500 and then see where they are at the deadline. Colorado comes in at 41-48, 21-26 on the road. And their young pitching's gotten better and better as this season's gone on. Little pop behind third. Long run Story, and he's going to get there. And a terrific running catch by Trevor Story robs Markakis. 4 up, 4 down for Bettis. 1 away in the second.
I was surprised that the shortstop's a good athlete, but look where he went. Look where he came from, I should have said, to get there. He was cheated up the middle on Nick. Covered a lot of ground. He was right in that area where he had that collision with Gerardo Parra, but able to stay with that one.
Garcia's at 5 homers, 26 knocked in, hitting .250. And that's a little low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Rockies have a winning record against the East. They're 7-5. They're only 3 games under 500 against their own division, 22-25, but they're 7-13 against the Central. Two and 5 against Pittsburgh, 2 and 5 against Cincinnati. This guy hit one a long way in BP today. Not Bettis, this guy. Adonis Garcia hit one in the 755 club in BP, right over the 1982 banner.
Not this time, though. He's out number 2. Second strikeout for Bettis. He has set down the first 5 in order, and here's Ender Inciarte.
Yeah, I should point out that Terry Pendleton was the pitcher, but and not Chad Bettis.
Hey, and speaking of Terry, happy birthday.
That's right.
Terry's 56 years young today.
Happy birthday, TP. Initials of TP. He was bound to play for Atlanta, wasn't he?
Strike 1 to Inciarte. And she's having a birthday too. Ender's bat is starting to heat up again. He's riding a modest 4-game hitting streak. And that missed up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. You'd figure that Ender would have as good a scouting report on this Rockies staff as anybody with all the games he played while with the Diamondbacks. And when he played the Rockies, he had good luck against them. 24 career games, a .314 average. And he's worked it full.
Bettis is doing a textbook bit of work here early on. He's moving left-handers off the plate, causing him kind of jackknife out of the way, and then he comes back with something soft away.
Yeah, he's doing a good job attacking with his fastball and using both sides.
And that one's ripped into right. Cargo a long run. Ender's thinking two. Gonzalez loads up. His throw is off target. And Ender Inciarte has the first Braves hit. A 2-out double here in the second.
Ender had 2 hits last night, including a double. His fastball was down the middle, and he didn't miss it.
Last night, Gonzalez threw out Brandon Snyder at the plate. It was a great throw from right field. That throw was clocked at 97 miles an hour.
Really?
So he's got a terrific arm. But Ender outran the baseball to extend his hitting streak to 5 games, and now AJ will try to knock him in with 2 outs. First run of the game has been critically important for the Braves this year. When they score first, they're 18-16. When the other team scores first, the Braves are 30 games under at 13-43. And it's 0-2 for the Braves catcher, A.J. Pierzynski, who's, as Joe said, going to get a lot of playing time now that Tyler Flowers is out with a broken hand.
You mentioned working both sides, Tom. He's been changing the eye level too. The pitch before was an off-speed pitch that had AJ fishing for it. Then they tried to go upstairs with a high fastball with the next one.
Now the old in out and in out, up and down. Change up for strike 2. Try to climb the ladder, foul that one off. See if they go back to something off-speed down.
Swing and a drive down the right field line, and it's gone. A line drive homer on an 0-2 count.
Tried to go with the cutter, and they threw it right down the middle.
A nice, easy jog around the sacks for AJ on this one.
AJ's first homer since last September against the Nationals, and it gives the Braves a 2-0 lead. And now Ibar rips one into right. So big inning for the Braves, 3 straight 2-out hits. And at the very least, the Braves will clear Mike Foltynewicz here in the second inning. And that was a much needed hit for Ibar.
Yeah, snapped an 0 for 18.
All right, so the Braves score first. Folty's got a lead. And he'll have a chance to keep the inning alive here. And a strike. "14 home runs surrendered by Bettis. 10 of them have come on the road. And AJ kept it fair down the right field line for the 2-0 advantage.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah. And that'll take care of Foltynewicz, but a big inning for the Braves. 2-out thunder from A.J. Pierzynski. He got an 0-2 mistake and cranked it over the boards in right. 2-0 Atlanta. We're through 2 at Turner Field.
Sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, and the Georgia Lottery.
Two 2-0 Atlanta on an A.J. Pierzynski home run on an 0-2 pitch. So the Braves have scored first, just like they did for Mike in his last start against the White Sox. He won that game 2-0. And he's got the bottom part of the order here in the third.
And that was on 2 home runs, right?
That's correct.
Wearing sleeves tonight. Maybe in anticipation of some of the wind.
He's got Nick Hundley, Chad Bettis, and Charlie Blackmon coming up for Colorado. No walks for Mike in his last start. He's got a pair of strikeouts in the first 2 innings. He's behind the count to the Colorado catcher, 2-0. And in the air to center. And Ciarte is going to make an easy catch. There's the first out of the inning. Chad Bettis is 1 for 29 at the plate.
Mike's working fast too, Tom, and
yeah,
sometimes that's not always a good thing for him, but he seems to be in a good rhythm tonight.
Yeah, I don't mind it so much with nobody on base. You know, guys on base, you got to slow it down a little.
Comebacker, and Mike's got that. Easy play, takes care of the Rockies pitcher. 2 up and 2 down. He's retired 7 straight, and we go back to the top and Charlie Blackmon, who popped out to start the game.
Of those 11 home runs that Mike has given up, 8 have been solo shots. 2 2-run homers and 1 3-run homer.
Mentioned last night, Charlie Blackmon's really turned into a terrific big league player with the Rockies. He's had a 19 homer, a 17 homer, and this year so far a 12 homer year in the big leagues. And this one's popped up again. Who wants it? It's going to be Freddie Freeman. And a 9-pitch inning for Mike Foltynewicz. He set down 8 straight. He leads by 2, and the top of the order is coming up. For the Braves here in the 3rd inning. And A.J. Pierzynski homer has things started for the Braves offensively.
Tell you what, when you raise your batting average 100 points in a month, that's some good work.
No, that's making you the best of your opportunity back up here. That's for sure. Good for him.
Jay's grounded out to second his first time up. And that good work is the subject of our Home Depot tools from the dugout. And he wasn't exactly setting the world on fire at AAA with the bat either, was he?
No.
Ground ball right side. Nice play by Reynolds. And he'll win the race to the bag for the first out.
Well, he says he's just trying to stay back a little better, a little more, not jumping at the baseball. It's amazing how better you see the baseball when you do that too.
Fans might wonder too, why is Jace Peterson playing left field? Number one, he's a terrific athlete. Number two, if Dansby Swanson and Ozzie Albies are going to come up and they are the quote-unquote middle infield of the future, then where does Jace Peterson play in that alignment? So he's getting some looks in the outfield, something that started for the Braves this spring training. Bouncing ball by Beckham out of play.
I don't think Jace minds. I think he just wants to be on the field.
I agree.
Wherever that is, he's willing to do it and do it well.
Jace is playing left field for the 5th time this year. And he handled a chance earlier without any problem. As Gordon Beckham bats, he's behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that missed badly. 2-2 your count. Beckham didn't get it. He's down on strikes. Bettis has 4 punch outs so far tonight. 2 up, 2 down. Freddie Freeman hits with the bases empty. He's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot feature.
Last 14 games, 4 homers, 8 RBIs. That includes an 0 for 3 last night.
Popped up right in the middle of the diamond. And it's going to be Story on the infield grass, and that'll retire the Braves in order. We head to the 4th, 2-0. A.J. Pierzynski hit a 2-run homer. Always a special night when Chipper Jones is in the house. Chipper Jones joins Tom Glavine, Joe Simpson, and yours truly. Good to see you, pal.
It's good to be here.
What have you been up to?
Oh, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Just a little retired stuff.
Retired stuff. Well, how about A.J. launching one down the right field line?
You know, I like the matchup tonight. You got a guy who likes to pitch inside, a little cutter. AJ stands up on the plate, gets the bat head out. I like this as a favorable matchup for him tonight.
And can't help but ask you about Mike Foltynewicz and what you've seen from him the last couple of times out.
I mean, I was talking to some of the. I went over and talked to Walt Weiss because I haven't seen him in a couple of years, and so I got to talk to some of the Rockies players, and they asked me about Folty, and you know, typical young pitcher is going to go out and he's going to not make it out of the 4th, you know, one outing, giving up a couple of homers, and then you know go 7 strong with 10 punch outs the next. And it looks like we got kind of the same Folty we had the last outing in Chicago, which is always a good sign.
Yeah, 10 strikeouts, no walks, 7 innings. I mean, he had command of everything against a really good hitting team in that ballpark right before the break. And he just struck out the second leading hitter in the National League looking, DJ LeMahieu.
Finally got him. He's been 5 for 5.
Tommy, that pitch will always work, won't it?
He can make a lot of money throwing that pitch right there.
Well, you would know. You would know.
I want to ask you about this guy. Your timing is perfect.
This is my guy right
because
here.
We're looking at one of the best players in the league that not many people east of the Rockies talk about, Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
What do you think?
This is my guy right here. If I was obviously everybody talks about the Harpers and the Trouts and the Machados and who you would start an organization around. This guy, you know, I'm a little biased as a third baseman, but this guy is certainly a guy that I don't care that he plays in Coors Field because his splits are just as good on the road. He's a guy that's gonna, you know, get the big base hit on the road. At home, doesn't matter. He's gonna hit the big home run. He's gonna make the big defensive play. His all-around game, I guess, is what impresses me the most.
got 3 Gold Gloves to start his career. I mean, Ichiro Suzuki's the only other guy to do that. So we focus on the offense, but this guy, one of the best defenders in the game. And he's a converted guy. He was a high school shortstop and a catcher. And if you read the scouting report on Nolan Arenado, there was no way anybody would have predicted he was going to be this good. One scout said he's slow and duck-footed. Whatever that means.
Well, if you hit the ball out of the park, you don't have to worry about being duck-footed.
That was probably a Rocky scout that put that out there so nobody would draft him.
Well, he must cover the third base position pretty well to be a Gold Glover. You know, there's some pretty good third basemen, you know, in the league, and for him to distinguish himself this early on in his career, normally it takes you a couple years to kind of get that reputation, but he distinguished himself right away, and you know, he's bringing home. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Silver Slugger in his very near future if he doesn't have 1 or 2 already.
He's already only made 1 error so far this year.
That's funny to me, you know.
Yeah. And how about this? We showed this graphic last night. Bryce Harper, everybody knows about.
Right.
From year to year, compare the numbers.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'd like to see, and you know what? The older he gets, the on-base percentage will get better, especially if somebody like Cargo were to get traded, and he might not have the protection behind him that he normally does. You'll see that on-base percentage go up. He's getting pitched to a lot right now, more so than if he was hitting in a different lineup.
And Chipper, he said that was a focus for him coming into this year. He wanted to work deeper counts and be more patient at the plate, see more pitches, and consequently walk a little more. That hasn't happened tonight, as he's 0 for 2, and here's Cargo.
That's always a good sign too, though, from a young player who wants to get better and trying to figure out a way to get better.
Well, I want him swinging the bat. And I mean, 23 bombs, and we're at the All-Star break. 23 bombs and over 70 RBIs. That's big time production.
Strike 1 to Carlos Gonzalez. He struck out at a 99-mile-an-hour fastball in the first inning. First of 3 strikeouts for Foltynewicz. And that's down and in for an even count. Have you been down on the farm? Have you been seeing any of the kids in the last couple of weeks with the All-Star break just passed for the Braves?
I haven't. You know, I've been getting kind of greedy waiting for Swanson and Albies to get called up to Gwinnett so I don't have to go to Mississippi. I'm lazy in my retirement, you know, so no, but I've been keeping up with the reports. I'm extremely excited about some of these, especially the first 3 pitchers that we drafted in the draft this year. Been keeping up with them, been keeping up with Colby Allard, the first pick from last year, and we had a combined no-hitter in the GCL with Joey Wentz today. So it's really exciting to see these kids kind of get their professional career started and do it in such a successful manner.
Just missed outside for Cargo. 2 balls, 2 strikes. How about the hitters?
You can point to Albies and Swanson. I've been keeping up with those guys, but obviously Austin Riley and
broken bat.
Look at that third sacker with some wheels over there.
Adonis Garcia made the play in foul ground. The barrel of the bat ended up in the stands above the Braves dugout. Hope everybody's all right. Chipper Jones will stick with us for the bottom of the 4th inning with the Braves up 2-0. Was kind enough to join Joe Simpson, Tom Glavine, and me here for Game 2 of the weekend series. Cloudy skies, breezy weather. Foltynewicz pitching great. He's allowed just 1 hit. And A.J. Pierzynski's homer the difference to this point. Nick Markakis, Adonis Garcia, and Ender Inciarte are coming up. And a strike to Nick, who popped out to short. Nice catch by Story to retire him. Another chance at short. Oh, that ball stayed down. Tricky hop. And a nice play by Story to retire Markakis. There's out number 1. Well, I asked earlier about the kids, and Joe made an excellent point in between break. What were you talking about? Well, there's Chipper and his lovely wife Taylor, and they both have, what do you call those?
They're bows.
I know that, but
Chip, compound bows.
Compound. That's what it is. Compound bows. Now, why in the world are you and Taylor holding compound bows?
Well, you know, it's kind of the new thing to have these gender reveal parties. Personally, I think it's just an excuse for the women to be able to throw a party and, you know, be the center of attention, which, you know, okay, whatever. So she informs me that we're going to fill a balloon full of paint, and we're going to shoot the balloon with the bow and arrows to, you know, kind of reveal the gender.
Okay.
And so that's what it was. That picture was taken right after that. So.
By the way, all of you who are wondering about that last guy, address your letters to the correct Chipper.
I got a tweet. I got a tweet today. I got a tweet today on Twitter, and he hit it right on the head. He goes, "That is without a doubt the most redneck thing I've ever seen in my life."
So, and the gender reveal is, I guess, pink or blue, obviously,
pink or
right?
Blue,
so what was the ultimate outcome?
It was blue, as most people know. I have a hard time not having boys. This will be between Taylor and I, number 6.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations.
Just got to keep going, keep trying.
Yep.
We'll figure it out one of these days. I'm going to be 80 by the time they're all out of the house, but, you know, whatever.
I heard a story. A gentleman told me one time when Kathy and I had Meg, he said, you know, only the most masculine of men have daughters.
Well, if that's the case, then I'm quite feminine.
Now, when is Taylor due?
Taylor's due December 30th, so a New Year's baby. Hopefully it'll be on the 31st so we can share a birthday with Jose down here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Now, have you figured out names yet? Have we gotten?
I gave her the option on the first name, but I got the middle name, and she liked the name Cutler, and I like the name Cal. So you're looking at Cutler Cal coming in December. So. Could be cool.
There she is.
There she is. Yep. See, she's a good mom. She's pointing that finger at him.
That's right.
Now.
I think you've seen that.
She's waving. Hi.
Yeah. I think you've seen that look before.
I have. Yeah. You don't want to be on the end of that finger now.
Well, that's great news. That's exciting. There's Ender Inciarte bats. Even count to him. 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
He gets it and goes, doesn't he?
Yeah, Ender's the only guy that stepped out on him. Yeah. That's twice.
Yeah, both these guys tonight working fast, pounding the zones. Nice.
And with thunder rumbling all around the ballpark, be nice to get 5 in with the lead. As that one's off the plate, 2 balls and a strike.
Chipper, all these divisions at the All-Star break separated by at least 5 games with the exception of the American League East. It's going to be tough for some of these clubs to catch up if they don't maybe make a deal or 2 before the deadline. Do you foresee some of that happening?
Oh, I think it's going to be an exciting, active trade deadline. I don't know what we're going to do here, but I think you're definitely going to see some teams. Nice piece of hitting right there. Joe Simpson would say, he combed that one up the middle.
Yes, he did.
You know, I think that certainly some of the teams that are within striking distance of the either one of the wild card spots, division leads, are going to have to go out on a limb and trade some good young talent to go out and get a starting pitcher. So we'll see how it all. I'd like to see us, you know, we've gone over and above and beyond to try and get arms, and we've stockpiled the arms, and I'd like to see us go out and start accumulating some hitters.
A.J. Skies one to center, and that should end the inning. Chipper, congratulations to you, Taylor. Always great to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, bud.
And as we always say, when Chipper Jones leaves the booth, stay hydrated on a hot summer night. 2-0 Atlanta. We go to the fifth. Nothing. We head to the fifth inning. Mike Foltynewicz is pitching very well tonight. He has allowed only one hit. He has struck out 3. He hasn't walked anybody. And that one hit was to DJ LeMahieu in the opening inning. Mike set down 11 straight Colorado hitters. He's got Story, Rayburn, and Reynolds coming up.
I just like how he's just attacked the zone with his fastball tonight. Pretty low percentage of breaking balls across the board, just going after him with his fastball.
And when he has that pitch to go along with the fastball, I mean, good luck, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when you're, especially in a hitter's count, you know, that if you can throw that pitch, but when you're behind in the count and throw it for strikes, that makes it real tough.
AJ asked him to back it up, and Mike had the plate, but it was a little low. 2 balls and a strike. .96 and right on by. 2-2.
The last time Mike walked a batter that wasn't an intentional walk was in that game here on June 30th when he had to come out after an hour and 8-minute rain delay against Miami.
Strike 3, 98 on the black.
Popping it. Boom.
When this kid figures out how good he can be, I really think it's going to be terrifying for the rest of baseball's hitters.
Well, hopefully after his last start, he's starting to get a glimpse of how good he can be.
And was there an aha moment for you, Tom, early in your career, or did it just sort of happen for you. As that one is kicked at third base by Garcia. And Rayburn's going to send Foltynewicz to the stretch for the first time since the first inning.
Yeah, you know, I think for me, you know,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I got to do a little grimacing. And are you kidding me?
Yes.
Ruling that a base hit after last night, charging Jace Peterson with an error up the middle.
That's not a base hit.
Crying out loud. Okay, go ahead, sir.
But no, you know, I think it's funny to hear what, you know, when Chipper said some of the Rocky guys were asking him about what Foltynewicz is, and he said, well, you know, your typical young guy. He's going to struck out 10 his last time, and, you know, next time he might not get out of the fourth inning, and that's very typical of most young guys, and myself included. I was on that roller coaster, and it's, you know, the tough thing is to figure out how to go out there and do this 4 out of 5 starts, not 1 out of 5 starts. And, you know, I think for me, like I've said many times, it all kind of came together in '91, obviously, but it was, for me, it was learning how to win games when I didn't have my A stuff. You know, when you have your A stuff and you go out there, you're supposed to pitch good. You know, you'll get beat sometimes, but you're supposed to pitch well. But when you start learning how to do it, or giving your team a chance to win when you don't have that A+ stuff, that to me is when you're on your way. And, you know, that's a big step. You know, because as young guys, like you said, you know, that he doesn't know how good he is. He probably has an idea how good he can be, but he probably doesn't understand just yet how to go out there and do that time after time after time.
He's gone 3-0 to Reynolds. And took a little off at 93 miles an hour, and that's a strike.
I'm not going to, with all due respect to Julio, who's been in the big leagues for a while, had his share of ups and downs. And with all due respect to Bud Norris, who pitched really well just before he was traded.
That is a foul ball. Foul ball. Reynolds will head back with a full count. Pardon me, Joe.
No, I was just thinking that these guys haven't had the luxury of sitting in the dugout and picking the brain of you or Greg or John, as so many young pitchers did during that stretch of pennants that are up there. Guys who really benefited from you guys, like Millwood, like Jason Schmidt, on and on and on.
No question, and I had that as a younger guy. You know, maybe not those, you know, that kind of name recognition, so to speak, but when you're around guys like Rick Mailer, Zane Smith, you know, Bruce Sutter, Ted Simmons, you know, those are guys that have been through it, and you learn a lot in conversations from those guys. And I agree with you, and I've said that. I think that's one thing that has been tough for these guys, is they can commiserate with one another about what they're going through. They don't know how to talk to each other about getting through it. They just know what they're feeling in the moment.
Right.
You know, they don't know, well, okay, don't worry, you know, just keep doing this or keep plugging away on that. They haven't had people around them like that have had that experience.
And they've got Roger, I mean, as, you know, as a backboard for all of this stuff to bounce things off of and to help them. But that's even different than having a contemporary.
As you know, it's always different to talk to a fellow player than it is to a coach, regardless of how well respected or how good that coach is at his job. It's different than talking to a player.
First bit of trouble for Foltynewicz after Rayburn reached on what was ridiculously ruled a hit.
That was just crazy. It may not seem so crazy if they hadn't ruled the one last night a base hit.
Right.
Are you kidding me?
And then Reynolds with a walk. After that, AJ went to the mound and said, all right, let's bear down. See if you can pick up your teammate. And he's ahead of Hundley, the catcher, who's a double play candidate. And he's jumped ahead of him quickly. No balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and that's the emotional side of the game that they're learning how to manage too. You know, you have a play like that, you know, maybe he's in his own mind a little upset that play wasn't made, or maybe he's upset that it was scored a hit.
Right.
Who knows? I mean, all those things play on your mind, and then you lose focus for a minute. Next thing you know, you walk the guy, and now you're in a little bit more trouble than you were a minute ago. So now you got to slow it down, reconnect with what you're trying to do.
There's the ground ball. Tricky hop. Second one. First 2. Double play. Just what Foltynewicz needed.
Great play by Ibar. He had to charge that and smother it. If he waits back, they don't get the double play.
6-4, 3 and out go the Rockies in the 5th. Foltynewicz leads it 2-zip. Fans to come through the gates on Saturday, July 30th. We'll get a 1991 worst to first NLCS replica ring. Don't miss out on this collector's item. Go to Braves.com/promotions and secure your tickets today. Boy, what a fantastic year that was. 1991. Never forget standing in the dugout at the old ballpark with my dad and Pete and Ernie Johnson, and we were all talking with Bobby Cox and getting early impressions right before the season opener. And I asked Ernie what would make 1991 a good year. And I said, well, if this team can finish around 500, that would be a dramatic improvement considering what 1990 was all about, Tommy. And as we know, that furious second half rally by the Braves won them the Western Division title.
That was kind of our unofficial goal, so to speak, coming out of spring training, was to be competitive and be, get to the middle of the pack in our division, and then, do something in the years beyond that. I think we thought we were, a couple years away, but it happened a lot quicker.
When you look at all the championship banners that are up on the wall here at Turner Field, was 1991 the funnest of them other than the World Series year?
Yeah, no question, because it was so unexpected, so out of nowhere. I mean, if there was a year you wanted, if you're only going to win one World Series and there was a year you wanted to do it, 91 was probably the year, because it was just so crazy. But the excitement around the town and just watching it build as the season went on, and I mean, it was a lot of fun to be a part of it.
And it was an awesome World Series.
Yeah.
Little blooper, and Story's going to catch up to that behind the second base bag, and that takes care of Ibar.
Tell you, the play Eric made to start the double play was so good because it was an in-between hop that he actually caught about waist high, and if he doesn't catch it, a run scores and it might turn into a big inning. But for him to come in and on that in-between hop play it so well, that's one of the best plays he's made all year.
Yeah, like you say, he sits back on that ball. They don't, if he fields it, they don't turn a double play, and then he comes and gets it, and he has to make his feed from an uncomfortable position of what they're accustomed to doing it. Good play all the way around.
And taking it a little further, it would have brought the pitcher up, so Mike wouldn't have the luxury of starting his next inning with Bettis starting things off for the Rockies.
Yeah, bonus.
Swing and a miss. Foltynewicz is struck out. That's 6 for the Rockies right-hander. And 2 are out. Top of the order, and Jace Peterson. Bettis has made one mistake, an 0-2 cutter that AJ hit out of the ballpark. Other than that, he's been just as good as Foltynewicz. Bettis' strikeout high is 8 in the major leagues. He's done that 3 times, including June 21st at the Yankees. And he's gone 3-0 to Jace. Gordon Beckham's next. And 4 straight earns Peterson a 2-out walk. All helps appreciated. Gordon struck out twice swinging. Let's see if he can make some contact.
Hundley's only thrown out 14% of base stealers. If Jace can get a good jump, I'd like to see him go. And runners are 4 for 7 against Bettis, which isn't all that great.
Braves have done a fair share of running this year. They've stolen 45 bases. That has been caught 20 times trying to steal. And Beckham looks at that one low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The 45 steals, middle of the pack in the National League. Braves are 8th in that category. Milwaukee has stolen more bases than any other club in National League play.
Splits for Bettis, left-handers and right-handers. Right-handers came into this game hitting .319 against him. But they're 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts tonight. 2 by Beckham, 2 by Garcia, 2 by Foltynewicz. The bazooka from Manuka. I like that a lot. It's a good one, Chip.
I asked Mike if it was okay. He liked it too. I was talking with Eric Young, the Rockies first base coach, who was in the Astros minor league system when Houston drafted him. He said, I called him Fulton Nasty because I couldn't pronounce his last name. And strike 3 takes care of Beckham. He's got the hat trick. 7 strikeouts for Bettis, 1 shy of his career high. We head to the 6th. Bettis will lead off for the Rockies. He trails 2-0. And the Bravos lead 2-0. Counting down the final days here at Turner Field. 32 games left as Kevin Butler and Thomas Davis do the honors in left field. And away Thomas. And here we go to the 6th.
Kind of expect you to break out in the fight song here before the game's over.
Little ground ball hit to Adonis. He's got it. And he got him by a step.
Got him by a hobnail boot.
Yeah, I was going there. There's the first out. Well, it's no surprise that Charlie Blackmon is 0 for 2 on UGA night. He went to Georgia Tech.
That's right. He didn't have a chance.
No. I like this guy a lot. I like his skill set. Good outfielder. Gets on base a lot. He's got a little Curtis Granderson in him, and with all the leadoff home runs he's poked. If you need to stand in for Duck Dynasty, he's your man. Strike one.
Like I said, he's turned out to be a much better player than I expected. And wasn't that I thought he was never going to succeed at this level. It's just that I thought of him as a 4th or 5th outfielder, and he's anything but that.
Big star at North Gwinnett High School. And this one's popped up left side. Ibar's got it. Garcia stayed out of the way. And there's the second out. Charlie was a pitcher in his early days at Young Harris College. Then he transferred to Georgia Tech, where he made the transition from pitcher to outfield. Played every game in 2008. Made ACC second team. Honor roll student. Earned his BS degree in business administration with a concentration in finance. Degrees that will come in handy if you're a good major league player.
Yes, they will.
And here's LeMahieu. He singled and struck out.
Good pitch.
That's the kind of play that will frustrate Mike. We've seen in several of his starts not get the knee-high strike called.
Well, I think part of it is because he was trying to go to the other side of the plate.
High hopper. Beckham gives ground, and he makes the play. An easy inning for Fultonevich. He is cruising along. That was an 8-pitch frame, and he's through 6 with a 2-run lead. Swing and a miss. Rayburn lost the bat.
Boy, he almost took out his teammate.
Swing and a drive down the right field line, and it's gone. A line drive homer on an 0-2 count.
Nice, easy jog around the sacks for A.J. on this one.
And that's the difference in the game. A 2-0 Atlanta lead as we hit the 6th inning already. Freeman, Markakis, and Garcia coming up against Chad Bettis. Freddie's 0 for 2 tonight. He's popped out twice. Be nice to see the Braves bats heat up the rest of the way today and then tomorrow before we head to the hitter-friendly road trip that's coming up. 3 with the Reds in Cincinnati, 4 against the Rockies in Denver, and then 2 games in interleague play at Target Field in Minneapolis with the Twins. Ground ball toward first, and Reynolds is there to make the play. There's the first out.
Guy's got it all covered. He's got a Braves cap with a Georgia logo on it.
Now that's a good hat. Like that a lot. Nick's 0 for 2. Nice play by Story to rob him in the second. And then a ground ball that stayed down, hit the lip of the grass. And Story stayed with that to make the play at first. That's downstairs, ball 2. Little pop into shallow center, but Blackman's going to get there. And 2 are up and 2 are down. 2-0 Atlanta here in the 6th inning. Time for our cold hard facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
Braves have played .500 ball over the last 26 games and scoring a few more runs per game, which is helping their pitching staff out, and they're definitely hitting a few more home runs. We talked about Jace Peterson heating up. Freddie Freeman had a good month of June and has carried that into July. Nick Markakis' bat has heated up. Garcia had a great road trip. So there are signs that the offense is really chipping in a lot more than they were.
Well, like I say, that's good obviously for the pitchers too. They have that sense that their guys are going to score some runs for them, that they don't have that urgency, so to speak, to go out there and feel like they have to throw a shutout to win a game.
And that's been the fate of Bettis tonight, who usually gets a ton of run support. But the Rockies have run into Mike Foltynewicz, who's thrown 6 shutout innings so far.
Well, I've heard pitchers say time and again, you gotta pitch the way you know how to pitch. Sometimes you get a tough draw, and you can't help that. You still got to pitch your game, and that's what Bettis is doing, but he's behind.
Yeah, just ask Matt Whistler about that. Think of all the tough matchups Matt has had in the first half of the year. High pop fly into shallow right. LeMahieu goes out. Cargo gallops in, and he's got that. We head to the 7th. Arenado, Gonzalez, and Story are coming up.
head to the 7th, and it's time for our Lowe's home field advantage. Mike Foltynewicz on the mound tonight. In 4 home starts this season, he is 1-0 with a 2.49 ERA, 21 Ks, and 8 walks. And you know, it hasn't been an easy road for Mike Foltynewicz. Brian Snitker was talking to us earlier about how much he's had to overcome. He came back from the DL with the bone spurs, one of those starts in New York. He's giving up all these home runs. He told me one of the big things he's working on right now is cutting down on those walks. He did just that in Chicago last week, 10 strikeouts and 0 walks. He's doing a great job here tonight as well.
Indeed he is. 6 shutout innings. And this is the tough part of the order for Foltynewicz. 3rd time through the order. Arenado quickly behind 0-2.
Good hook.
Mike's line very impressive. And he's thrown 78 pitches.
Ought to be a 1-hit shutout, which would make it even more impressive were it not for a bad scoring call.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Tom, you said something early in the game about how Mike was establishing his fastball and both sides of the plate, even with his 97 and 98 mile-an-hour fastballs. And from a hitter's standpoint, you got to respect it, especially when you get behind in the count like Arenado has here. That's what you've got to sit on, and his breaking ball is good enough to completely tie you up.
Popped up. That might stay in play for Freddie. Checks the tarp, and at the tarp has a seat and makes the catch. Arenado's the first out.
Yeah, as you know, I mean, as a hitter, first and foremost, you get in that box, you've got to respect the guy if he can locate his fastball, regardless of how hard he throws. And if he can't, and you don't have to respect that fastball, regardless of how he throws, it makes your job in the batter's box that much easier. And you know, for Mike, if I don't care, you see with everybody, if you're throwing 100 miles an hour and you can't locate that fastball, then as a hitter, you're going to sit in there and wait for that one mistake, and you're not going to swing at breaking balls if he hasn't shown you he can throw them over the plate. So the more you can eliminate from what you have to look for in that batter's box, the easier your job is, obviously. So, you know, for Mike, banging strikes with his fastball and then getting that breaking ball over makes it awful hard for these guys to sit on anything.
And he's getting ahead in the count. He's not having to throw 2-0 fastballs down the middle for a strike, 3-1 counts. He's not having to do that tonight, nor did he in Chicago.
No, and I think we've seen 2 tonight where he's gotten a couple called strikes. I know one called strike 3 on a fastball that was almost right down the middle. That's how you freeze a guy, because you've established that you can throw that breaking ball for strikes too. And if you get him caught in between, it's tough.
A lot of pop-ups tonight too. These guys are having a hard time getting the barrel of the bat out there. They're late. 3 pop-ups by Blackmon. We just saw Arenado pop up.
Cargo was on that fastball. Remember, he started tonight's play with 21 straight plate appearances without a strikeout, and Foltynewicz blew him away with a 99 mile-an-hour heater. And here Mike is, 85 pitches into the game, still throwing in the upper 90s when he needs it, not with every pitch. More gas coming for Cargo here. AJ liked the location. Gonzalez spoiled a good pitch. As you see on the Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard, what Mike is doing to this Rockies offense is extremely impressive.
High average, high runs per game, always on base. Great effort tonight by Mike.
Breaking ball caught by Freddie Freeman. Chicago tried to hook one down the right field line, but the Braves 6'5" first baseman made the play.
It was a great reaction from Foltynewicz too. He made a mistake there with it, left it out over the middle of the plate. He thought maybe it got ripped down the line from perhaps an extra base hit, and was kind of frozen in his follow through here as Freddie made the catch. Caught a break.
Yeah, you got to catch a break once in a while. You know, you give up hits on good pitches sometimes, and sometimes you get away with bad ones.
Strike one to Story. So here he is again, ahead of a tough hitter, 0-2. 15 out of 23 strike one pitches for Foltynewicz tonight.
Well, I think he talked too, if I'm not mistaken, about simplifying his attacking the zone and going more to halves of the plates instead of trying to go to corners, and serving them well. I think you establish, you know, if you can establish that, start with establishing the halves of the plate, keep it simple, and then as you get deeper in the count, if you're ahead in the count, then you can pick your spots to try to hit corners, and on certain nights you can go to corners.
Stay right 3 at 97. His 92nd pitch of the night takes care of Trevor Story. Foltynewicz now with 5 strikeouts, a 2-hit shutout as we head to the 7th inning stretch here in Atlanta. Foltynewicz, who enjoys another 2-0 lead at the 7th inning stretch. We'll be sure to talk about Mike's performance and A.J. Pierzynski's home run on Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. That will follow us from Turner Field on what's turned out to be a beautiful Saturday night in downtown Atlanta. The baseball has not looked that big for the Rockies hitters tonight. They have but 2 hits. They have struck out 5 times. Braves have made 4 hits and 2 runs stand up against the Colorado starter so far.
Every time I see that shot of the moon, though, I think of Pete. We'd show that shot, and your dad would say, "Why are we showing the back of Pete Van Weren's head?"
Way upstairs. 3 balls, no strikes. That'll help. A little insurance wouldn't hurt. Enciarte's reached 3 times tonight. He's doubled, singled, and now he's walked. And here's the hitting hero of the night, A.J. Pierzynski. This is what he did in the 2nd.
Dropped the barrel on a cutter that was down and in. Didn't hit it high, he just hit it hard.
Yeah, that would have been an easy pitch to hook foul too, but he did a nice job keeping it fair.
A.J. flied out his other appearance tonight. That was in the 4th. He pushes a bunt toward third. How about that play by A.J. Pierzynski?
Love it. And the really good thing about it is he didn't try to be too fine with it. All he had to do was make sure it was fair. Nicely done.
So Erick Aybar is coming up, then the pitcher's spot. And our first visit of the night for Chad Bettis. Steve Foster's the pitching coach. That'll buy some time for the Colorado bullpen as Jake McGee begins to loosen up. Walt Weiss pondering his options. Not much he can do unless his club musters some offense tonight. They're down 2-0 in the 7th. Follow Braves baseball live with the MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day. Live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and your tablet. Ball 1 to Erick Aybar. Another run or two wouldn't hurt against this high-octane Rockies offense. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves did make some news today. Arodys Vizcaino unfortunately had to go to the disabled list. We saw him throw a pitch here last night and he grabbed his side, so he's been placed on the DL. Eric O'Flaherty's back from his minor league rehab. This one's bounced towards second. LeMahieu to Story for 1 and a first in time. Inciarte's at third, but now there are 2 outs and Foltynewicz is going to come up and hit.
This was a slow developing double play, but Trevor Story got to show off another part of his game, and that's a good arm. Showed you his range earlier when he raced out into shallow left for a pop-up.
That's the first double play of the night for the Braves offense. Let's see if Mike can help himself. He has struck out twice.
Mike's got a good swing. I watched him take some batting practice, but tonight he's been stymied by some breaking stuff.
Line drive. It's a base hit. Not that one. There. His first RBI of the year, and the Braves cash in that leadoff walk. That is a big insurance run. And have yourself a night, Mike Foltynewicz. It's 3-0.
Yeah, maybe he went up there looking for it that time.
See, he knew what he was doing. He deked him. He took terrible swings his first 2 times up, hoping that it'd get up there in an RBI situation and get another one and ambush him.
And make it count.
His 4th career RBI, his first this year. That's a big run. All started with a walk to that man, Ender Inciarte. He's had a good night at the plate, too. Chase took that one low. 3 balls, no strikes. Another walk.
Bettis
got to wonder if Bettis is running out of gas.
Been out of shape over the hit by Folty. And that's going to end the night for him.
So Walt Weiss went as far as he could with Bettis, as the Braves have pushed across a big 7th inning run to make it a 3-0 game. 2 on, 2 out. And Jake McGee was the man loosening up. Looks like he'll be the man coming in to pitch. Gordon Beckham will greet him. Atlanta in command late at home. Three nothing. Atlanta leads it in the 7th inning. Mike Foltynewicz has had himself a terrific night so far. And fans, the Braves will induct John Schuerholz and Andruw Jones into the Braves Hall of Fame on Friday, August 19th. Get your tickets before they're all gone. All guests are guaranteed to sit with a current or former Braves player, coach, alumnus, or Hall of Famer. Go to your phones and call 404-614-2310 for more information or to order your tickets today. Braves find themselves in the part of the Rockies club that's really been disappointing, frankly. The back end of their bullpen's had some problems, and Jake McGee has a gaudy 6.12 ERA.
And yet that usually doesn't go together with 15 saves. Could be that Gordon was working to set up Bettis all night.
Now he's not going to get the chance.
But now he won't get a chance to capitalize.
McGee came from the Tampa Bay Rays in late January in a trade that sent Corey Dickerson to Tampa St. Pete. McGee's given up runs in 3 of his last 5 outings since coming off the disabled list, where he was recovering from left knee inflammation. One ball, no strikes for Beckham. And ball 2. Colorado's relievers have 13 losses. They have 12 blown saves. They've allowed 39 homers in 291 innings. Some of that, of course, product of where they play their home games. As this one's hit high in the air, left center field, pretty deep, but on the warning track, Rayburn hauls it in, and that retires the side. Beckham just missed. This game goes to the 8th. Atlanta leads 3-0.
It's time for our Xfinity game break. Well, I'll take you over to one of my favorite ballparks in St. Louis, where the Cardinals are hosting the Marlins. And we've heard this name a lot. Giancarlo Stanton with 2 run-saving catches tonight. This first one, a diving catch, would rob Matt Adams to end the first inning. And the second catch, he robs Aledmys Diaz of extra bases in the 4th inning. He can't do it all, though. Right now, the Cardinals lead 5-0 in the 5th inning.
That's a much-needed game for the Cardinals, Kelsey. Thank you very much. Who played very poorly at home. Believe it or not, St. Louis is only 19-27 at Busch Stadium after winning 55 games there last year. Miami won 7-6 last night. Adam Wainwright's on the mound for the Cardinals tonight, so he's got a nice 5-run lead. By the way, Ichiro Suzuki had a hit last night and got a standing ovation from the Cardinal fans, as you'd expect. He's now only 9 hits away from 3,000.
Well, you know, those Cardinal fans,
best fans in baseball, you know.
That's what they say about themselves.
Ryan Rayburn leads off inning number 8.
They are pretty good.
Rayburn has the questionable second hit for Colorado. And on a different note, we haven't talked much about the All-Star game, which was won by the American League. I'm not sure if all fans had heard what baseball has done. Did you hear what they're going to do for the batting champions in each league?
I did hear that.
They have named the winners, or they've named the batting title awards in each league after Tony Gwynn and Rod Carew. As this one's bounced up the middle, a base hit, and Colorado has their leadoff man aboard here in the 8th inning. So the winner of the National League batting championship will win the Tony Gwynn batting title. American League, the Rod Carew.
That's great.
Batting title.
Rayburn's having a good series.
No arguing about that hit. So he's 2 for 3, 3 for 4, including his grand slam here last night. And this is what makes you nervous when you play the Rockies. Everybody's a threat. And we still have a close game. There is action in the Braves bullpen as Mike works his way toward 100 pitches. He's thrown 67 strikes, only 29 balls.
With the injury to Vizcaino and activating Eric O'Flaherty, the Braves now have 4 right-handers and 4 left-handers in the pen. I don't ever recall seeing a team that had 4 lefties in the bullpen.
I don't either, and it's amazing. It happens all the time. We're talking last night about when Eric's ready, what are the Braves going to do? They're going to have to make a move, and it's just unbelievable how that stuff seems to always work itself out. Obviously, in the bad situation with Vizcaino getting hurt, but it's crazy how many times you look at that, and then next thing you know, you don't have a decision to make.
So it's good to see Eric back, as Reynolds, with a pop out and a walk, is up for the 3rd time tonight. 2 balls and a strike. We've reached 9 o'clock. Mike's leaving a few pitches up in this inning, and it's 3-1.
That looked like an attempt at a straight change. I don't know what exactly it was, but it was 91 miles an hour. If that was a changeup, that had a lot of velocity.
How'd you like to take a little off and throw it 92?
I don't know. I would have had to get to the front of the mound to get to 92.
AJ wants Mike to make a pitch here. And he just missed the corner.
Oh, mercy.
Wow. Foltynewicz wanted that one. And he does have a beef. Looked like on Fox Tracks that was a strike that wasn't called. And now you've got 2 on, nobody out. The potential tying run coming up.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a strike. And
Yes, it is.
I can see if a guy's all over the place and you don't get a call like that, but when you've been pounding the zone all night long, I don't know how you miss that.
And as I said earlier, tonight there have been times where, and you saw the reaction of Foltynewicz right there, when he hasn't gotten a call, sometimes he can't compartmentalize that and put it away and concentrate on the next hitter, and he ends up in more trouble. And you've got Hundley and then a pinch hitter coming up for the Rockies with nobody out late in the game.
Yeah, don't look beyond this guy either. If you take him for granted, batting eighth, you're going to get hurt. Make good pitches here. Make a good pitch to get a ground ball. Get ahead in the count.
And that's what Mike did last time up. Hundley hit to that double play. It was started by Ibar on a tricky hop.
Good pitch to start the at bat. But yeah, that's all part of the learning process too, is learning how to, put those bad things that happen behind you and forget about it and focus on what you're trying to do next. Not always easy to do, but
well, when Mike's been in trouble, he's made some of his best pitches. He has not had much trouble tonight. But 2 on, nobody out here in the 8th. And AJ tried to frame that. That was off the plate. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, that's the kind of stuff too. That's not shaking your head, doing all that. And look, I was as guilty of it sometimes as anybody, but that's not going to help you get the next borderline call. That's where you got to let AJ do what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
Nice comeback pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Mike threw 106 pitches in that game at Chicago, where he went 7 innings. And the next one right here will be 106.
Pop fly foul. That's headed for the seats.
And Argyle tells me that that is a season and career high. So the next pitch will be a new career high.
Rayburn and Reynolds, the runners. The pitch. Line drive, softly hit into left field. That's going to drop for a hit. A run's going to score. And Colorado has cut the lead to 3-1 now, as Hundley drives home his 20th man of the season.
Pitch up and running back into Hundley, able to turn on it, get the bat out there.
And isn't it amazing, in a game where a man's thrown 107 pitches, how 1, maybe 2 pitches can change the entire tenor of the game? A missed strike 3 call earned Reynolds a walk, and instead of 1 on 1 out, the Rockies have scored their first run, and Mike Foltynewicz will turn things over to the bullpen. And this crowd in Atlanta is going to give him a well-deserved ovation. He pitched a great game again.
Don't do it, Mike. Having a little stare off with Barry. Don't do it.
Terrific night tonight. 7+ innings of 4-hit ball. He's allowed a run here in the 8th inning and departs with 2 on and nobody out. Let's go back to the 7th. Good work on the mound, fellas, and good work at the plate. And how big is Mike Foltynewicz's RBI hit looking right now?
Huge. You called it an insurance run, and it certainly is at this point. Now up to Hunter Cervenka to get through this inning. He's only allowed 3 of 25 inherited runners to score. That's outstanding.
He'll face Christian Adams for Colorado with nobody out. Braves think he might bunt. Garcia's in on the grass at third. He is going to bunt and pitch well off the plate. Adams has played 9 games at short, 5 games at second base. And has 8 pinch hits. A Cervenka strike evens the count.
So switch hitter, and sometimes guys are better bunters from one side of the plate or the other. He has 2 sacrifices this year, both left-handed.
1 ball, 1 strike. High fly ball, pretty well hit, but not well enough. Jace Peterson backpedals, and there's the catch. The runner at second's going to tag and head to third. Colorado's got him at the corners now with 1 out, and the top of the order in Charlie Blackmon. So Adams with a productive out moves Reynolds up 90 feet. And Blackmon's going to stand in. He's popped up 3 times.
Good work by Jace Peterson. Again, he hasn't played out there much, but he was mindful to throw the ball to second base. He's probably getting some advice from Inciarte that the runner was tagging and going to third, but he wanted to keep the double play in order and made the right play by throwing to second.
Amazing stat for this Colorado club as Blackmon digs in. When they trail after 7 innings this year, they have not won a game.
Goodness.
0-43.
That's hard to believe.
They're within striking distance here. First and third, 1 out. And out of play by Blackmon. Strike 1.
Very respectable numbers for Blackmon against left-handed pitching, hitting .271.
That one got by A.J. And a wild pitch will bring home Reynolds. We saw enough of that last night. Braves had a 5 wild pitch game last evening in the 11-2 Colorado win. That's the most wild pitches in a game for the Braves since 2002. And A.J. couldn't knock that one down.
Well, he went to short hop it as opposed to moving over in front of it. It's a tough play to short hop. Tough pitch to short hop.
Now you've got real problems. It's a 1-run game. Good hitter up. And Hundley in scoring position with 1 out. The fate of the decision for Mike Foltynewicz rests with Hunter Cervenka. Hundley is Mike's responsibility at second. The pitch. Blackman chased it 2-2.
The flip side for Cervenka against left-handed hitters, a 128 average against him, 6 for 47 on the year. Cutters and curveballs.
Here comes the 2-2. Always wanted to ask a pitcher, what's it like sitting where Mike Foltynewicz is in a situation like this where you're powerless to finish the inning you started?
That's not fun. I think the look on his face kind of tells you
the
agony that he's kind of going through right now.
Well, think about it. You know, he's put in such a good effort tonight. He's worked very hard against an excellent hitting team and has pitched well enough, certainly, to give his team a chance to win, but to earn a win as well. And that ball 4 pitch to Reynolds is just eating him up because of how it changed the inning.
Right.
So all that good work for 7 innings. And I'm sure in his head he's thinking, if that's a called strike, as it should have been, it's a different inning.
2-2 pitch for Blackman now. It's a little pop, shallow center. Ender got a great break on it. There's the catch. Throw back to second. And Hundley almost wandered too far. The throw hit him as he made his dive back into the bag. And Ender Inciarte was thinking about an inning-ending double play, but is happy to have gotten the second out. And that's going to be the last pitch thrown by Hunter Cervenka. He got Charlie Blackman to pop out. So Hunter retires the first 2 hitters he was assigned, but a wild pitch brought home a second run. And Chris Withrow is going to come on and take on DJ LeMahieu with Mike Foltynewicz and the Braves still in front by a run.
Is sponsored by Synovus, the bank of here, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
3-2 game, 2 outs, tying run at second for Colorado. Chris Withrow's on in relief. He's the 3rd pitcher of the inning. Oh, all Mike Foltynewicz can do is pace and wait and hope that Withrow can retire the 2nd leading hitter in the National League, DJ LeMahieu, here in the top of the 8th.
He's had a pretty good run working. Scoreless outings in 12 of his last 13 games, 18 of his last 20. Had a couple of good outings against the White Sox right there before the break. 2 1/3 innings of hitless, scoreless ball.
That's a good test right here.
Yes, sir.
LeMahieu singled in the first. He has struck out and grounded out since. And there's an excellent start. You don't want to face Arenado here.
No, sir. They're both hitting well with men in scoring position, but Arenado with 71 RBIs and hitting about .340 with men in scoring position. That's a different level.
Ground ball right side. Beckham's got it from his knees. Freddie can't scoop it. And Hundley is all the way around from second to score. And Colorado has tied it up at 3 apiece. Almost a miraculous play by Gordon Beckham and Freddie Freeman. But Colorado has tied it up on an infield hit.
Gordon was bird dogging the runner. He's moving over to get himself in a position to fill the hole up. Made a great stab here. That ball got up over the glove and hit Freddie in the nose, I think.
Yeah. So it's an infield hit, and it's a throwing error on Beckham that scores Hundley and close the book on Mike Foltynewicz. Instead of a win, a no decision. And Bettis is off the hook for Colorado too. What a shame.
What a shame.
So now you've got to face Arenado, who's lined out to left. He's popped out to center, and he's popped out to first. And he hits the ball the other way, headed for the right center field gap. LeMahieu's on his way to third. And they're at the corners for Colorado with 2 outs. And now Carlos Gonzalez is coming up, and this is unraveled very quickly. Nice piece of hitting by Arenado. And now Brian Snitker will go lefty-lefty with Cargo coming up. With 4 lefties in the bullpen, Brave skipper can play matchup the rest of the way if he so desires. 2 hits off Withrow. Great play by Beckham, but Freddie Freeman couldn't handle a tough hop at first. And the Rockies have tied it and are threatening again. '30th, get a 1991 worst to first NLCS replica ring. Don't miss out on this collector's item. Go to Braves.com/promotions to get your tickets today. What a thrill it was to get that ring in 1992 for the Atlanta franchise. As we continue in the 8th inning, Fourth pitcher of the frame is Dario Alvarez, who's on for the 12th time, and he's got a tough assignment. Carlos Gonzalez is hitting with first and third, 2 outs, and 3 across for Colorado.
Alvarez was brought in to pitch to him last night, got him to fly out to left field. He'd take that right here, but he had a rough inning. A hit, a walk, both runners scored. Had a wild pitch, and his run, or his hit that he allowed, was the grand slam to Rayburn.
Anything in the dirt, AJ's got to lay out and knock it down. LeMahieu can run, and he's getting a big lead at third base. And ball 1 for Cargo. Talking with Eric Young about the Rockies' approach. When they play at home, they're a very aggressive, swing early in the count team. The Rockies on the road are trying to work deeper counts. Be more selective. See how selective Carlos Gonzalez is here. Didn't get that one. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I would say, Chip, that probably applies a lot with nobody on base. But in these situations, all bets are off.
Yeah. One ball, 1 strike. AJ fortunate to get leather on that. 2 balls and a strike. Atlanta led 2-0 through 6. 3-0 through 7 with Mike Fultonevich providing an RBI hit. Looked like he was rolling along. But trouble aplenty here in the top of the 8th inning, where the Rockies have tied it up. And a cue shot rolls foul. We'll see a 2-2 pitch now.
Rockies last night were 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. They're 2 for 5 tonight. All of that this inning.
28,000 plus here at Turner Field tonight. And now the 2-2. That fooled Cargo. He jackknifed out of the way and it missed inside.
He could fool the umpire too. He flinched. He looked like he wanted to call it.
Yep.
Yep, he started to.
So Arenado at first will take off. There he goes. And Cargo pops it up. Ibar drifts out into shallow center. He makes the 2-handed grab. And that retires the side. A missed strike 3 call, a wild pitch, has helped the Rockies tie it up 3-3 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. scored 3 runs in the 8th. The good news is the game is now tied. And Atlanta has their 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up with a chance to grab the lead right back and send it to the 9th in front of the Rockies in game 2. The Rockies have their 3rd pitcher of the night. And second in relief, it's former Brave Boone Logan.
And the second of their 2 left-handers. He worked an inning and 2/3 last night. Zeros across with a strikeout. He came in and faced Freddie with runners aboard in the 7th inning and got him to hit into a double play.
One reason why the Braves have been playing around 500 ball is the good work of Freddie Freeman. Let's see what he can do in the 8th inning. 25 extra base hits since June 1st for the Braves first baseman, and 0 for 3 tonight. As you'd expect, Colorado has a big defensive shift on for Freeman. DJ LeMahieu's playing in shallow right field. We've seen A.J. Pierzynski lay down a bunt in a shift like this. Freeman's not afraid to do that a time or two. But not with that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right off his knuckles. And back to the screen, 1 and 2.
Tried to spoil his shift there on that breaking ball. Be surprised if they throw it to him again, at least where he can reach it.
That's hooked foul at first.
Quite an improvement in this department over last year too.
Mentioned briefly, Boone Logan was a Brave, pitched here in 2009. Braves got him from the White Sox with Javi Vasquez for John Gilmore, Brent Lillibridge, Tyler Flowers, and Santos Rodriguez in 2008. And then the Braves traded Boone Logan and Javi Vasquez for Melky Cabrera, Mike Dunn, and Arodys Vizcaino. And if you missed the news, Vizcaino out with a side injury, disabled today. Eric O'Flaherty activated. And Freeman dumps one just foul at third base. That would have been a thing of beauty. And he's putting up a good fight here. You'll see an 8th pitch.
Looked like Boone Logan tried to quick pitch him a little bit there just to change his delivery to the plate like a slide step, just to try to catch Freddie off guard, and may have, since Freddie was late.
Boone Logan also has deeper Braves ties than his single season here in Atlanta. Played college baseball at Temple College in Temple, Texas. His coach, former Braves right-hander Craig McMurtry. One ball, 2 strikes. Base is empty in the Atlanta 8th.
I don't know if he's got a slower breaking ball, but it may come right here. No, heater.
This is a big league at bat, by the way.
Yeah, nice to see him work it and get it to pay off. A line drive double somewhere would be nice.
Swing and a miss. 93-mile-an-hour fastball retires Freeman. There's the first out of the 8th inning. It took 10 pitches for Logan to take care of Freeman.
They wanted it away. Hundley called for it away, but it was up and in and tied him up.
Freeman, Markakis, and Garcia combined 0 for 10 at the plate tonight. Nick's seen him a lot from his AL days, and he's had good success. The way Logan pitched the Braves last night was kind of a head scratcher. Talking to some of the guys in the clubhouse today, they were surprised at the amount of off-speed stuff that Logan was throwing. He's got a good fastball. See what he offers on an 0-2. That one got by Hundley. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pop fly back our way, and we'll do it again.
I'd like to see him make a mistake down and into Nick. Just let Nick drop the barrel on it.
He's hit 5 homers, 3 of them in his last 8 games. And he's putting together a good at bat. He'll see a 7th pitch. Line drive into right center field. That'll drop in front of Cargo. A big hit for Markakis. His first of the night. And there's the go-ahead run as Adonis Garcia's coming up.
Like something down. Fastball down. Had a lot of the plate. Good at bat by Nick. Go-ahead run aboard.
And Walt Weiss makes his way to the mound. He's going to go to his bullpen. Looks like Jason Mott was up and throwing. Let's see if he's going to make a move here. Hang on a second. And he's going to stick with Logan here. Because after Garcia, you've got Inciarte and A.J. Pierzynski.
The other side of it too is having a left-handed pitcher on the mound to hold the runner close at first base. That would be the go-ahead run. Nick's not really a stolen base threat, but it might cause him to take a shorter lead and make sure he doesn't get picked off. It might be a difference if Garcia hits a double.
And that missed inside. 1 ball, no strikes for the Braves third baseman. Adonis with a couple of strikeouts and a pop out.
Hitters count. Just try not to overswing thinking you need to hit a home run to win the game. You don't. Gapper will work.
That wasn't close to the zone. That would have been ball 3. Yeah, and you've got 2 left-handed bats behind Garcia. And the lefty on the mound. See if Garcia can make something happen. There's ball 3.
If he threw you a 2-0 breaking ball, chances are good he's going to throw you something soft 3-1, and you have the opportunity to sit on that. And even if it's a fastball strike down the middle, you still live to see another pitch.
As you see on Fox Tracks, Logan hasn't thrown a strike.
No,
nothing close.
I agree with Joe. I'd be surprised if he throws him a strike here.
And good call, Joe. That was the off-speed pitch, and Garcia missed it. It would have been called a strike had he not swung and missed. Anyway, so now it's a full count. Runner goes. It's ball 4 inside. So now the Braves are in business. 2 on with 1 out. And now the battle is lefty versus lefty. I'm guessing the thinking there for Colorado was see if Garcia would get himself out. And then with 2 outs, you like these matchups. They worked him very carefully. He didn't. And by pitching around Garcia, Weiss rolls the dice. You got to go ahead run in scoring position, but the 2 left-handed batters coming up against Logan.
And Inciarte has had a problem with left-handed pitching all season.
He's had a good night tonight, however. He scored 2 of the 3 Braves runs. You've got Markakis at second, Garcia at first, and Logan versus the Braves center fielder. And that's up and in. 1 ball, no strikes.
Inciarte's numbers better in recent days against left-handers. Have bumped his average up, his splits up to a respectable 263.
Might have swung at ball 2. Almost hit him. 2 balls and a strike.
Again, if the guys were talking about all the off-speed pitches, he threw 12 pitches last night, then look for 1. Look for something off speed here. His fastball location hasn't exactly been stellar here the last 2 or 3 hitters.
Little pop in foul ground. Arenado has plenty of room, and Inciarte is the second out. And here's AJ.
A.J. put the Braves on the board in the second inning with his first homer of the year, a line shot off Bettis into the right field bleachers.
So a couple of former White Sox square off.
I was kind of hoping he was going to sit first pitch breaking ball right there.
Me too. I've been trying to use the mojo, the Joe mojo, to these lefties.
.29 pitches for Logan in the 8th. 17 strikes. Ground ball up the middle, but Story had A.J. played perfectly, and he wins the race to the bag to force Garcia. So Logan pitches himself into and out of a big 8th inning mess, and we head to the 9th, tied at 3. A sensational rookie for the Rockies with 21 home runs, 57 RBIs. He's the man that'll get things started in inning number 9 for Colorado. The Rockies off the deck in the 8th inning. They saw 4 Atlanta pitchers. They scored 3 runs to tie it up. And now Jim Johnson will try to cool off the biggest rookie home run hitter in the National League here in the 9th inning.
Well, one would assume that the closer role is going to fall onto Jim Johnson with the injury to Vizcaino, and in fact Jim had been in that role a couple of times in recent days and got a save at Chicago on the 10th. 32nd game for him. He's been a closer before. He knows how to handle it.
Story 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And that's, I guess, the next stage of Story's game that he'll try to improve on, and that's making more consistent contact. Garcia guards the line at third base as Johnson misfires outside. Story, with 2 punch outs tonight, now has 116 strikeouts and 325 at bats. Line drive to right, his first hit. So the Rockies have the leadoff man on in the 9th inning, and Ryan Rayburn's coming up with a 2-hit game of his own.
Typically, this Rockies team, not just this one, but those in the past, they don't bunt a lot because they've got so many thumpers, especially at Coors Field, playing for big innings. But they have 33 sacrifice bunts this year. Braves have 37 coming into this game tonight, so fairly even. Rayburn does not have any.
Well, Joe, you know, a bunt in Colorado can really fly out of the ballpark with
I've seen it happen.
Right, the altitude there. 1 ball, no strikes as we approach 10 o'clock. That 8th inning took about 45 minutes to complete. Game was brisk, it was crisp, it was well played, and then the brakes were slammed on with all the pitching changes and the 3 runs scored by the Rockies. Rayburn was fooled, even count. Sunday afternoon, we'll see John Gray and Julio Teheran. That'll be a fun matchup. 2 excellent young pitchers will work the final game of the series. Gray, one of the top pitching prospects in the Colorado team. The pitch is fouled away at the plate. And Story had an excellent jump. He'll head back to first.
Sometimes I remember when a guy got such a good jump, you could hear Bobby yelling from the dugout, "Don't swing."
Yeah, take it.
So Rayburn will have to protect. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Story has a good lead with nobody out. Two and two. Rayburn in the box, Reynolds on deck. Story at first. Runner goes, swing and a pop up, headed for the right side of the stadium and into the seats, foul. Into the upper deck.
Jim's trying to change his delivery pattern here. He's held the ball. He's sped up. He's using a slide step. Story's going on every pitch.
Well, maybe he'll wear himself out now and you can throw him out, strike him out, throw him out.
Again, the 2-2. Instead to first. Oh, he was leaning and he just did get back.
Well, it's a 2-2 count. If you want to pitch out, you can. If he doesn't go, it's a full count.
Another 2-2. Runner holds, and it's in the dirt, blocked by AJ, and no chance to pull the trigger. On a ball in the dirt, Story moves up 90 feet. A wild pitch. Boy, has that been a big play in this series.
Sure has.
Big play in the 8th inning too.
Good read by Story. We talk a lot about how Freddie Freeman's good at reading a ball that's about to go in the dirt. That 58-footer. Story read that perfectly.
So now it's a full count for Rayburn. And a hopper toward third. Adonis looks the runner back, and his throw to first in time. Rayburn would have hoped to get Story to third base there, but still they at least have a man in scoring position with one out. Reynolds coming up. Reynolds has walked twice. He's popped out once. Reynolds had 28 walks and 281 at bats coming into play tonight. That one in the dirt. Story's going to try for third, and he's going to make it. 2 more wild pitches in this inning. And AJ can only shake his head. I mean, I thought he was part golden retriever last night. He's had to chase the ball to the backstop a couple of times again tonight. Now the infield comes in for Reynolds. And a ground ball on contact. Ibar's coming home. The throw to the plate. Short hops AJ. A run is in. Reynolds around first. He's on his way to second. He'll stand there, and the Rockies have taken the lead.
You could call that a wild pitch too. Ibar was having to throw this on the run. They were going on contact. But he threw it short.
Story even stumbled about 20 feet from home plate and was able to get there ahead of the throw. And you're right. A short hop to AJ Pierzynski, and Colorado has stunned this crowd. They've taken a 4-3 lead. Here's Hundley. A fielder's choice and an error on Ibar puts Reynolds at second base, and now Hundley with an RBI hit digs in with 1 in, 1 on, and 1 out.
That's aggressive baseball, even with the infield in, going on contact, forced the defense to make a play, and Braves weren't able to do it.
A leadoff hit, a wild pitch, a ground out, another wild pitch, and then with the infield in, a ground ball to short, and Story beat the play at the plate. Hundley is struck out, 2 away. And here's Descalso as we've hit the 10 o'clock hour. Descalso hitting a cool .333. He's played in 36 games now. And he's been a good pinch hitter. 6 for 15 with a home run. Rockies would like to add some insurance. They lead by 1 in the 9th. Braves will have their 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up.
They've got 26 pinch hits this year. 4 homers, 3 by Rayburn. Braves have 17 pinch hits, 2 homers.
One ball, one strike. Blackman's next.
Got to hold it at 1. Bottom of the order for Atlanta coming up.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Descalso flipped the bat and the arm guard away. But he's got to strap it back on and dig in with a full count.
Yeah, he did.
So now the payoff. And that one not close at all. So Johnson walks Descalso with 2 outs, first and second, and the Braves will have to face Blackman. Four pop-ups for Blackman tonight. And Johnson's had to work hard. That was his 23rd pitch. He's thrown 12 strikes. Again, Arodys Vizcaino disabled today. Johnson, the most experienced closer on the roster. And he's not been able to keep it tied heading to the bottom of the ninth. Line drive center field, a base hit. Reynolds around third. Ender's throw is coming home. It is going to be in time. He is some kind of outfielder, folks. Inciarte with another assist. He guns down Mark Reynolds at the plate. And that is a very big play. But Colorado has scored the go-ahead run in the ninth inning. It's 4-3 Rockies. Bottom of the ninth coming up.
Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
4-3's our score as we head to the bottom of inning number 9. Couple of changes for the Colorado Rockies. Brandon Barnes takes over for Rayburn in left. And Carlos Estevez is coming on to pitch.
35 strikeouts, 31 1/3 innings. He has obviously become their closer after the struggles of Jake McGee. This guy throws hard, 96 to 100 miles an hour. Hard slider and a changeup that's 89 to 91.
4 saves is more than any other rookie relief pitcher. And that's a new Colorado rookie relief pitcher record. And he'll try to add to that here in the 9th inning. The Braves have Eric Aybar, then Jeff Francoeur, then Jace Peterson coming up. It's a 1-run game. Ender Inciarte gunned down a man at the plate. That could loom very large as Estevez has sprayed the first 2 out of the zone. 2-0 the count. Estevez was a international free agent signing by the Rockies back in May of 2011. And he's got an even count now, 2-2.
Did you say earlier, Chip, that the Rockies had no wins when trailing after 7?
None. They were 0-43 coming into tonight's game. They scored 3 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th. And now the 2-2 pitch is rolled towards second. LeMahieu's got it, and the all-star second baseman makes the play for the first out.
Yeah, not just that. We've been talking about Arenado winning 3 straight Gold Gloves. LeMahieu won one in 2014.
Here's Francoeur. Frenchie's been swinging a hot bat for the Braves. Jeff's riding an 8-game hitting streak. 9 hits in that stretch with a couple of homers. He had an RBI last night. He was fooled there. And Francoeur now an 0-2 hole.
Started him with 2 off-speed pitches, breaking ball, and then I think the changeup.
Yeah, this is a tough guy to sit on the bench all night and come out and have a pitch hit against.
Way upstairs. That'll wake you up.
Hundley wanted it up, but he didn't want it up there. Man, that was close.
Takes a lot of courage to dig back in after a pitch like that, and it's swept outside for an even count. Last year, Jeff led all major leaguers with a .367 pinch hit batting average. Can he come through here in the 9th? Very good at bat. He's run it full. You got Jace Peterson waiting on deck. Jace has had a flair for the dramatic in late inning action, and he's a left-hand batter. And a swing and a miss. Nasty pitch inside corner. It looked like it was a strike, and the Braves are down to their last out.
Yeah, really good pitch, 99.
So can Jace Peterson keep it alive? He's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks.
I'm not sure. I think that hit the umpire's shin guard on the fly.
Scott Berry's not too happy about that. One.
See, that's what I don't understand. Fulte's around the plate all night long. He doesn't get that call. You get a fastball off your shin guard, and then you call the one that he paints down and away.
And that one pitch really did change this game.
It really did. One pitch that it gets hit out of the ballpark can change a game. But that was a pitch that was called ball 4 that changed this game.
Yeah, to Mark Reynolds in the 8th. Ground ball to second. LeMahieu's got it. And the Colorado Rockies have stunned the Braves tonight, trailing 3-0 after 7 innings. They got 3 in the 8th inning as 3 Braves relievers could not hold them down. And then Jim Johnson gave up the go-ahead run in the 9th inning. And the Rockies have won the series, and they've won game 2. 4-3 is your final score. We'll recap a disappointing night for the Braves at Turner Field right after this.